Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today I'm bringing out a setup, play and review the game Alhambra Roll and Write by Dick Henn. Now, Dirk Henn happened to also be the same designer for the original Alhambra in about 2003, also winning the SPIEL.digital. I've played that online also multiple times in person initially. This is by Queen Games, and this is another roll and write game. I've also brought you Escape and Copenhagen. You'll have a sheet of paper, which will be the scoring sheet that everybody will be going through. You'll also have your individual piece of paper as well. So the game pad and a score pad, that's crucially how it works. There's no pens included. I highly recommend a thick pen, and for some reason I can't find a black one, but this pink pen works fine. Just to let you know, ink does slightly go through on the paper, as you can see, so please be aware of this, but I think pencil and a thin pen doesn't really work very well. It doesn't seem to generally go all the way through in terms of actually providing you a decent understanding of what's going on. So aim of the game is to get the highest amount of points. Everybody is going to take one blue die and one yellow die. Now whilst I'm still setting up, please ensure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, that share button, obviously the comments go through there. Please let me know in YouTube is best, just in case I goof or anything, which hopefully I won't. Also, there is playlists. There's the AmassGames playlist. There's that a setup, play and review playlist, roll and write playlist. There is also this playlist relating to roll and writes. Numerous others, I hope you find of interest. Also via the description, you can support the channel by Patreon, and also check out various videos on YouTube. Please follow via Linktree. There are also occasionally competitions to keep checking back. Let's leave that just in shot there. Cool. So what are we doing? Well, firstly, you're going to take your dice and you'll roll them 3 times. So you're going to roll them like this, and what we will do is initially mark this off, just show you how you play it solo as well, because I'll do a solo playthrough video afterwards. But let's start it off. So firstly, I'm going to mark off the first 3 things that I come across. So that is 1. Now, annoyingly, this shape is very similar, as you might spot, to this shape. They're both blue, but they're very similar. So this one happens to be this one. So I need to put my name, just put S for Simon here. Cross that one off. I'll be playing against a virtual player 1 and a virtual player 2 in a solo game. In a 2-player game, there's also 1 virtual player. 3, 4, and 5, you're playing against other people. Okay, that's my first roll. Let's just roll again. You might want to see my dice distancing video to see how far dice roll. Sometimes they do, because they're very light dice, they sometimes do get stuck at the bottom of the dice tab before they fall out. So next up, we have got a 3 and we've got a 6. So what I have here, I've got this reddish brown building down here. Cross that off too. That's my second one. My third one, I'm going to roll again, and again, let me show you how you do this, and then I'll show you how you get the points. So 3 of them happens to be one of these buildings again. So I've now crossed off 3 buildings, and also I have crossed off 3 on here. So that is that. I'll quickly do it for virtual player 1. They have got 1 and 6. So they've got this red building down here. So that's their first one. And as you might notice, I'm trying to compete against them or against other opponents in real life to see how they get on. So in this instance, we have now got a 2 and a 1. So 2 and a 1 makes this. So they've got that one. And lastly, for virtual player 1, we have got a 5 and a 2, which gives them 1 point here. So now they can see, you might see they're competing against me to try and get their highest on these various tracks. Virtual player 2, we're just setting up here as well. So they happen to get one of the tall purple buildings. We've then got a 6 and a 6. So they've got one of the palacey kind of Versailles gardens over there. And lastly, they've got a 2 and a 4, which is another purple thing. So now we're going to start round 1. So now I'm going to mark off to show that I'm starting round 1. I'm going to roll these 2 dice, and I can either pick between here, or I will need to take out 2 more dice because I get a choice, and pick between them. Now, as you'll see in a second, the dice that I do not pick will stay there. So I can pick between 4 and 2. So I can either pick this building and this building, this building and this building. Currently there's 4 options. As and when these get crossed off, I'll have fewer options available. So what do I want to pick? Well, this gets important. If you complete the most in one of these sections, you'll get those victory points. So 16, then you'll get 8 if you're the second most, 1 if you get the third most, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, increasing, and there are more things you can be crossing off to compete over. Now, if there's a tie, so if there's 2 of you, you're taking 24 points in this case, 16 plus 8, dividing by 2 and rounding down. In this case, you're just going to get 12 between you. I've even had a 3-way tie in a solo game. Now, you're also going to score points, so you're going to mark them off down here, but there's also points, so if you happen to get at least 4 in one column or one row, that's 2 points. So you can get 2 points over here, you get 2 points down there, etc. But if you get 5, you get 5 points. That's nice and neat. And lastly, if you get all 6, you get 10 points. I've yet to see all 6 choose to get played, but that is available for you. Coins, so you can also get coin points. So for every 2 coins, you get a single point. What can you do with coins on your turn? You can gain coins firstly. So if you happen to have, let's say, a 3 and a 4, whatever it might be. So imagine we've crossed off this one. I can choose to gain points based on whichever coins are still visible. So if this one, this one, this one, or this one were visible, already covered, I can gain coins. You can either build buildings or gain coins. So gaining coins, I did gain me 4, so I could have gained 4. Right now I'm not getting any coins, so it's going to be something I'll get later game, which would say happen that solo playthrough potentially. I chose to get 0 coins just because nothing seemed to really suggest I needed them, and ultimately they give you modifiers. So I've got 3 coins to start off with. If I wanted to, I might want to go here, maybe to compete in this zone over here, in which case I would spend 1 coin to turn this into a 4. So you can go up or down by 1. A pip value is 1 coin. You cannot convert a 6 into a 1, which in my view is a bit of a shame because I think it really encourages you wanting to get these mid values, which of course statistically is just as likely as a 1 or a 6. So that's a downside. But you could spend all 3 coins if you happen to have 3 coins and take both of 2 sets. So you could take this one and you could take this one or whatever was rolled. Now it's my turn, so let's just say what I want to pick. What do I want to pick between? Well, I kind of want to get some nice juicy points because 13 points would be quite nice. So right now, let's take this one because it's in this column over here. So I'll take that one. So I mark off on here that I'm starting off my progress over here. These 2 dice stay there, and that's the same in a 2-player game. These will then get rolled for the first virtual opponent. So they get a 4 and a 6. I won't leave them on this so I can remember what I've had. So now they're also on the track. It's amazing how much that can occur, even though it's completely luck-based for them. 6 and 6, and then let's call it the Versailles again. They're now there up that track too. So as the game goes on, that's back to my turn. So it's going to be round 2. And now I've got these 2 dice, so I still have these options. And again, if you're playing with other people, you're thinking, do I want to give them those 2 dice, or do I want to give them whatever I've just rolled? So you have to start thinking, well, I don't know if I want to give them this or not. I've already said it's quite advantageous to go in the centre. I'd rather take this one because I'm starting to get more and more along here. They don't have to be contiguous. It's just a total of 4 in a row or column, or 5 in a row and column, or 6. So that looks a lot more interesting for me to go over here. So I'm going to take this one, which will give me over here. And in this instance, those, of course, the ones I've just used, is going to get rolled for virtual player 1, which is going to be 5 and 2. So now they are moving up this track even more. I still get 6 points currently out of it though, which is fine. And lastly, we have the 4 and 6. So 4 and 6, now they're also going to get purple. Ridiculous. Now the difference between them and us is they can keep, when rolling, they're not marking stuff off, which allows them to get more and more of the same thing. So what do I think of the game? Well, let me quickly show you those other roll and write games. You've got Copenhagen here, and we've got Escape. I'll do a separate video on my comparisons of all 3, but I quite like this one. This has grown on me. This is the lowest rated of the 3 online. I currently am preferring it. Initially I was going to give it a much higher rate, like a 7.5, maybe like a 6.8 currently, or 6.7. I do enjoy it. It's quite a bit different than Alhambra though, but I still like the idea that you're competing, you're trying to get various ranks, that classic idea that, do I want to be in the lead, do I want to extend that lead or do something else? The roll and write makes sense because you have that trepidation of luck and peril as to whether or not you're doing something and it is going to work. And another factor is whether or not you're going to, succeed in getting those most points. Are you really working on getting these rows and stuff like that? The scoring has been very close. I did not expect it to be this close, especially because there's no kind of balancing of luck. But 85 and 86 points, that was how close it was in the first 2-player game I played. I like the idea that it gives you some guidance to try and go for rows and columns potentially, maybe try and go hard on some of these things. So that works well too. It's not my favourite roll and write though. I think Knock Mal just gives you a few more choices, and that's a bit more interesting. And as I mentioned before, these 2 are annoyingly similar as well. It's a bit too close. So if you're looking for the pools, that is a problem. The fact that you're working on the centre and going outwards is a bit of a negative, because if you keep getting 1s and 6s, you're going to struggle in some respects because you're going to push yourself inwards. Whereas a 3 to 4, it might be easier. With a 6, remember, you have to go this way. You can't then do these ones over here. So that's my review so far. If you have any other thoughts, again, please let me know. I said YouTube is best. And like I said, if you want to watch that solo playthrough continue, please ensure that you check out that video as it comes out very soon. Well, for now, back to the table.